So today, we're going to tackle two geometric ideas you probably use every single day, maybe without even realizing it: area and perimeter. Let's dive right in.
So why should you even care about this stuff? Well, turns out it's pretty much everywhere. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to calculate it, let's talk about the why.
Think about it. Have you ever planned a project and just came up short on materials? Or maybe you bought way too much? Yeah, that feeling. Getting your measurements right is absolutely key.
Yep, you guessed it. From fencing a yard to carpeting a room, you're constantly dealing with boundaries and surfaces. This is kind of the secret math hiding behind so many of our everyday tasks.
Okay, so now that we're on the same page about why this matters, let's get super clear on what these two things actually are. They're related for sure, but they measure two totally different things.
You know, it's amazing how simple the difference really is when you see it side by side. Perimeter is all about the distance around a shape. Think of it as the fence. And area, that's the space inside it, like the lawn. And here's a key thing to remember. The units are different. Perimeter is just a length, but area, that's a surface, so we measure it in square units.
Let's put it this way. Imagine you're walking along the entire edge of a shape. If you measured how far you walked, boom, that's the perimeter. It's literally just the total length of the boundary.
And area? Well, that's all about how much surface a shape covers. It's the amount of paint you'd need for a wall, or how much seed you'd buy for a lawn. It's all about the space inside that boundary we just talked about.
All right, theory time is over. Let's get practical. We're about to build a simple but super powerful toolkit of formulas. Think of these as the essential tools you need to solve pretty much any area or perimeter puzzle.
Okay, first step in our toolkit is one of the most common shapes you see everywhere, the rectangle. I mean, look around you. Doors, windows, your phone screen, they're all rectangles, defined by those four sides and four right angles.
So for a rectangle's perimeter, it's pretty easy. You just add the length and the width together, and then you double it, because you've got to cover all four sides, right? And for the area, even simpler. Just multiply the length by the width. That's it. Simple and super effective.
Next up, we've got the square. And really, a square is just a special kind of rectangle, one where all four sides are exactly the same length. And that makes the math even easier.
So for a square's perimeter, you just take the length of one side, we'll call it S, and multiply it by 4. Easy enough. For the area, you just multiply that side length by itself. See? Nice and tidy.
Okay, so what about a shape with no straight sides at all? Let's talk about the circle. A circle's perimeter is so unique, it actually gets its own special name, the circumference. It's the same idea, the distance all the way around, but it needs a totally different formula. With circles, everything comes back to the radius, which we call r. That's just the distance from the very center of the circle out to the edge. And you also need that magical number pi. So the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. And the area? That's pi times the radius squared. Just got to remember those two. All right, so we've got our toolkit packed with formulas. Now what? Let's actually put them to work. How do we use these things to solve a real-world problem? It's actually a really simple 3-step process. Seriously. First, you identify the shape and grab the correct formula from your toolkit. Second, you substitute. That's just a fancy way of saying you plug in the numbers you already know. And third, you calculate to get the final answer. So remember that. Identify, substitute, calculate. That's the key. Okay, let's make this real. Picture a rectangular park. We're told its length is 50 meters and its width is 40 meters. Our job is to find the perimeter. Basically, what's the total distance you'd walk if you did one full lap right along its edge? So let's use our 3-step method. Step 1, identify. Okay, it's a rectangle, so we grab our perimeter formula. P equals 2 times the length plus the width. Step 2, substitute. We swap out L for 50 and W for 40. Now our formula looks like P equals 2 times 50 plus 40. Step 3, calculate. We do the math inside the parentheses first, so 50 plus 40 is 90. Then we just multiply that by 2.
And just like that, there's our answer. The perimeter of the park is 180 meters. See? Once you know the method, it's really just a matter of following the steps. Not so bad, right?
Okay, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how. Let's zoom out one last time and just really appreciate how far this basic knowledge can actually take you. And you know, this isn't just for homework or little projects around the house. These concepts are absolutely critical in some huge professional fields.
We're talking about architects designing skyscrapers, engineers creating the next big thing, construction crews building our cities, and designers planning out beautiful spaces. They all rely every single day on a rock-solid understanding of area and perimeter.
When you boil it all down, it comes back to this one powerful distinction. Area is the space inside, while perimeter is the boundary around. If you can master that one idea, you've really mastered a fundamental concept of how we build and measure our entire world.
All right, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Literally, when you're ordering a pizza, what measurement do you think is more important? Is it the area, which tells you how much pizza you actually get to eat? Or is it the circumference, which tells you how much of that delicious crust you're going to get? It's something to think about next time you're ordering a slice.